Hiya Tom, great to work with you as always. Really enjoyed the session on Tuesday. I felt everybody there, particularly yourself, got a lot out of it. And we'll take a little look at the swing. P1, P2 looking good. P3 much improved, hands and arms working in nicely, left shoulder working down, right leg straightening at a much nicer rate than in previous sessions. Top of the backswing, this is towards the end of your session and you're not actually as far across the line as you were at the beginning. However, we would like to see that shaft slightly more laid off, as per the footage I showed you of Mike Bennett. The problem we have when the club is across the line at the top, and this dates back to the way you've swung in the past, if you will, and when we're hitting, sort of aiming right, trying to draw the ball back with the hands, the club from there now will start to tumble behind the hands continuously in the downswing, and the blade works open. So from an across the line position, the shaft is continuously tumbling under plane, opening the blade of the club, and the only way we can square up the face from there now is to stop the body, hips stop rotating, toe end of the club works over. Quite a lot of closure on the club face coming through. So the laying off of the golf club at the top is an ongoing thing. You were doing really well with that when you were working on the range, stopping at the top and putting it into a laid off position. And like I said, that backswing is much less across the line than at the start of your session. As a result, the first move down is getting the club into a slightly better position at P5 and P5.5. What we've got to learn to do now is turn the corner at this point. So from P5.5, the club just continues to work under, with the handle working high. You can see that we're working under plane. So we need you really to feel the opposite of that move. So the shaft continuously working under. And the image that we talked about on this was, I believe, Garcia or Ricky Fowler. I'm just going to take the time now to get a few, or one or two players up. Just have a little look at different ways of doing this. We've got Garcia here, and the key move here now for Garcia, you can see the shaft more laid off than with yourself. There's then a down lag, so you can see he's loading the wrist much more as he's coming down. And at P5.5, he's got to work now to stop this shaft tumbling underneath him, and he's working the handle down into the left heel more. Down into the left heel. You see that tumbles the club out in front of him. He's got to work hard to do that, but he does it very well. And you can see as he does that, there's an opening up of the hips. It's not done just with the arms, it's done by clearing the hips and continuing to unwind the body. Just put some plane lines on for you. We're trying to keep the club more on that line from the top of the backswing. So you can see now, club loads more, club's dropping under. With yourself now from here, it continues to drop under that red line, with Garcia using the direction of the hands to keep the club on plane, tumbling out in front of him. So here we have you rehearsing this in a very extreme manner. Hands down into the left foot, down into the left foot. From about P5.5, you can see that club now tumbles out in front of you a little bit more. Now obviously we want it to be more like we see there with Garcia, where it's in line with his hands. That would allow the downward attack that you have with your irons to produce the in to out swing path that you desire. Coming back to your swing here, again, down and to the left foot. And that's the feeling that you're trying to create as you do this drill. So it's just trying to prevent the club dropping under plane from here. Instead of continuously tumbling under, the feeling has got to be to do the opposite. And the only criticism I would have at this point is there's not enough clearing of the hips as you do that. Remember, if we continue to clear the hips, that's going to keep the hips turning and sliding, allowing us to maintain our inclination to the ground and also help control the path of the golf club. So we'd like to see the club a little bit more out in front of us at P6. Not as far in as you would normally get it, but not as far out as we're seeing here. So this drill is just you emphasising the move that you're looking for. Working down and to the left. Club moving out in front of you. So it's just tools and ways of preventing the club creeping too much out in front of you. As you're doing that, remember to clear the hips out of the way. You would want your hips about 40 degrees open at P6. 40 degrees open at P7 impact, rather than what we see there with Garcia, where his hips are 40 degrees open at P6, but certainly not square. Your hips tend to not clear enough. So plenty to work on. Pretty simple stuff, but can have a huge effect on your overall ability to control the flight of your golf ball. Good luck with it, and I look forward to working with you again in the coming weeks. Well done.